welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made a table inspired by these tables right here. I feel like we've all seen this table on Pinterest and wanted it for ourselves, but maybe you don't have thousands of dollars to drop to buy it. Well, I'm going to show you how you can make it yourself. So we've probably also all seen this table right here from IKEA one way or another, from maybe we owned it at one point for our first apartment, or maybe our boyfriend had it in his bachelor pad. We've all seen this table right here. Well, we're going to actually use this table to create our dream table. In this video, I'm going to show you step by step of how I created this table. If you want to figure out how you can also do the same thing, keep on watching. So to start, what I'm going to do is put the legs on the table to make sure it's balanced while I'm doing everything, and give it a good sand. Now, I will say I actually didn't end up using this tabletop. I ended up using the other base for it, but I did work on it, so this is the clip you're going to see. I pre-sanded everything down so it adheres easier when I'm putting on the feathering concrete. I made sure to wipe it down with a microfiber cloth. I actually decided to use the base piece of the table because it has two parts to it, because it was so hollow in the inside on the thicker piece, so that's why I swapped it out if you notice a size difference. But it works just the same and I still love the table. It's just, that's what I did. If you want to not do the groovy parts and just have the concrete look, you can just keep the simple tabletop piece. Now, what we're going to do is cut off some construction paper so we can trace out the shape that we want. I'm going to make sure I tape it down and everything is nice and secure and doesn't move. Then I'm going to use a pencil to do that, and then I'm going to swap over to a Sharpie once I have my desired shape. I use a pencil because I can erase it, I can play around with it, and it gives me more allowance to freehand. Unlike a Sharpie, if I don't like it, then I'm kind of stuck with it, or have to throw out the construction paper and try again. Now I'm using the Sharpie to go over my desired shape. So when I'm cutting, it's a lot more clear and a lot more bold. If you don't have a Sharpie, you don't need to do that. You can just use a pencil and just know where your line is going to be, that you're going to be cutting. And so right here, I'm showing you I am wearing my eye protection, because if you know my other DIY, I messed up my eye from not. So what I'm actually going to do now is trace out my desired shape. So I'm just going to use an X-Acto knife. You can use scissors also, it would be easy that way too. It's just cut out your desired shape. Then you're going to put some double-sided tape, or fold some tape so it sticks double-sided, and then you're going to stick it down to your table. Once everything's secure, I'm going to use that template to cut out with my jigsaw the shape that I want. When using a jigsaw, make sure you do have the right blade and setting for this type of task. Now I'm going to continue doing that. I will say, if you have an outdoor space, a balcony, a backyard, do it outside. Okay, so I made sure to wear the proper gear. I mean, this isn't the proper mask, I have two. I really was going to do this outside, but it's quite cold and like muddy, or I would have to do this. Now I'm dusting off my couch as I'm speaking, because I'm like, this really was a bad idea. But it's fine, I'm going to vacuum, have my jigsaw, do this for a while. But yeah, make sure to wear eye gear because we're not doing what we did last time. I'm hot. Okay, so I just finished cutting out all of the, am I zoomed in or I'm just too close? I think I'm too close. Stand back a little. I'm lean back. Lean back. I just finished the cutout of the table. Some of it went well following the outline and some of it didn't, but we got most of it. I mean, it's a squiggly table, it doesn't need to be completely accurate, so we got that done. I'm gonna vacuum now and dust everything off, and then come back to this. Now we're going to rip off our template, look at the shape, make sure we like it. Okay, I'm looking at it and I'm not loving, I need to get a wide angle lens. I'm not loving the shape 100%. Like I'm liking this side, but this side I'm not loving. I feel like I might want to take more off. But that side seems fine. I'm just not liking this side that much. And I'm like, okay, should I just go at it? Okay, I'm literally thinking of taking the most tiniest piece off to round this out more. I just don't know if I'm gonna be able to like that precise in getting such a tiny angle. So I'm like, and I'm wondering if it's because this is so square and flat here that I'm not happy with. And I'm wondering, can I build that up with the stuff that I am building with? Can I use that? But or should I just try to go for it? Because so I decided to use my jigsaw and go for it and cut off that piece, and I was very happy that I did because I got a shape that I personally desired. Now we're going to move forward and making the texture using this feather finish. Now we're going to be making our feather finish mix. Make sure you follow the instructions. I used 1 part water to 2 part feather finish. It does dry very quick, so I would say work in small quantities. Also, if you have a mixer, I would say use that to mix it over just hand mixing it, because it is quite hard to get the consistency nice and smooth. Once you have it in this nice, airy icing consistency, that's when you want to put it on. I tried working in small sections, but because it was drying faster, I realized using my larger paddle was a lot more beneficial. So what I decided to do after, you'll see, is I decided to coat it mainly everywhere, and then I take the feather finish and swipe it everywhere just to make sure it's smooth, and then for my second coat I'll go in with the small tool. Now we're going to move on to cutting our legs. I measured all the way around the base to make 3 equal parts. Then I'm using my handsaw to cut through it. And then we're going to repeat the same steps with spreading this feather finish along. Make sure you work quickly. Once again, I noticed is just putting it on with the smaller spatula and then using the larger one was such an easier process than to do this tiny one everywhere. The small one I liked because it added texture, but I do like using the large one because it deposits the feather finish around evenly. Using this technique where I drag it around this way helps me move fast and quickly without it drying and making it patchy. Now I'm going to sand the edges to make it all smooth. I'm going to use just a simple finishing sandpaper. It's going to help get rid of all the sharp edges from when you're putting it on, as well as on the top of it. If you see any patches that are uneven, you're just going to go over it with that lightly. Don't work too much because you will then see patches in it. I will say that if you do have an outdoor space, make sure you use it because it is very dusty. So if you don't, make sure you have good ventilation and windows open and wear a mask to protect yourself. And so I also use this spray sealant, water sealant on it. Personally, I do not really like it. I think it caused my house to smell awful after spraying it and letting it sit outside. I would say if you do use this product and you have a garage or somewhere outdoor space, let it sit out there. But also, it didn't really protect the table at all because it's so porous. So I don't know if I would necessarily recommend this product. I would look for something that has more of a base or coat that you can put on it that can actually seal it a bit better. It did cause my finish to have a bit more discoloration, but I didn't mind it because I felt like it added to the look. So afterwards, I'm going to assemble it and see where I want the legs to be. I don't want them to be directly aligned. I kind of want them to be a little staggered. So then once I do that, I marked the back of the table, and then I also am now going to use this Gorilla Glue to adhere the table to the legs.
Baby, I will show you how you can catch my vibe, and right away got so looping in the blurry lights. Get in my way now, don't be shy. We'll be here dancing day and night. Get in my groove now, don't be shy.
Now I'm just looking where I marked on the bottom of the table to make sure everything lines up. And once that's done, I added some weights on top of the table to add some pressure and make sure it adheres. And I'm going to let that dry. Now, as that's drying, I decided I need some coffee table decor because I didn't have a coffee table, so I didn't have any decor for it. So I had these candle holders and these plant pot bases and a vase. And I decided I'm going to make my own decor, DIY it up. So I used these primer as well as spray paint for this DIY. Super simple, anyone can do it. So for one of the bases, I decided I'm going to make my own vase to put some plants in for the table. So I'm going to use my Gorilla Glue and make a nice glob surrounding the base, and then I'm going to make a little X to make sure it adheres properly. Then I'm going to flip it over, add some pressure, and let that dry. Once it's finished drying, I primed all of the pieces so I can get it ready to paint. Now, this is not in real time, this is sped up, so this is not how quick you should be spray painting. You want to go nice and slow, long coats. I decided to go with a matte black finish just to make it more sleek and polished. I also wanted to try out this texturized spray paint that I had sitting in my closet for so long, and I realized that wasn't going to work. I had to actually paint the base first, the color that I wanted, and then go back over with the texturized paint, because if I don't, it's going to be splotchy and you're going to see everything through it. So now that my table is done and my decor is dry, this is what it looks like. I love it. It adds a lot of flow and texture to the room, especially since it's in the middle of my living room and my couch is very square. And so this helps add a bit more interest to the room and a bit more flow. That's what I really wanted to do. And I love how it's something a bit more of a harder texture because it looks kind of like stone and concrete, and the couch is more velvet and suede. So it's a bit more softer. So I like the two juxtapositions playing next to each other. This DIY, I definitely would say, is a messy one. So I would say if you want to do it outside or in an open space. I also would say that you don't have to do the curvature to it. You can just do it how I originally was going to do it, is just putting the texture onto it, because I think that still is a lovely detail to it that still elevates the table. Yeah, this is what it looks like. I'm sorry I don't have the original footage from when I first did it. I cannot find it for the life of me in my hard drive. So this is the footage that I have after a year of using it. I'm excited to show you guys all the DIYs. I'm trying to pump out all the stuff that I've done in my space because I have a bunch of other projects that I want to share with you, and so I have to get these out so it makes more sense. So I do apologize for the delay. I've just been so sick and dealing with my health, but I do appreciate the kind words and things that people say in the comments, and I'm glad you guys are loving the DIYs that I am sharing with you. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I have so much more that I want to share. My goal is to reach 10,000 subscribers, and I'm almost there. Hopefully by the time this goes up, I'll already be there, and that is the next goal, is the big, extra zero behind 10,000. So I would love for you guys to follow me on my journey, and I love for you guys to see everything that I have planned now. My goal is to also make sure I post more updated videos, so that is going to be happening. But like I said, these have to come out so you guys can see all the exciting things I have planned for this channel and for you and for myself. So I will see you guys next time. Bye, lovelies.